Welcome back to Big Mouth and welcome to Saturday's edition of the dceu Daily. Remember, you can tag and follow me over on Twitter at MoviesTVMad. Today, I'm partly here to disperse a myth, a rumour, something not very nice, that some fellow members of the Snyderverse fandom are going around spreading. They're going around saying that Walter Hamada has no idea what he's doing, so he's desperately gone off to Greg Berlanti, asking him for help to run the DC live-action extended universe. Now, of course, this simply isn't true, and just because you say that, it doesn't mean Walter Hamada all of a sudden is going to produce a bunch of rubbish movies, and his leadership of the DC live-action extended universe is finished. You can say what you want on Twitter. It doesn't change anything. It's just an echo chamber. You can say it amongst yourselves, but it doesn't make it true. Now, you were there at DC Fandom. Who was there on the same video? Walter Hamada and Greg Berlanti. They explained to you, because of the multiverse strategy, that everyone involved in DC live action, in all corners of DC live action, would now be working together. You know that because we're seeing a unification of the live-action universe. Flashpoint will begin the DC multiverse strategy. So these people have to work together, because if they wasn't working together, you would say, these people are not communicating. How can they not work together? You can't have it every way but south. So this is the truth and the fact of the matter. So yes, Greg Berlanti and Walter Hamada are working together. Everyone involved in DC live action is working together. No, the reason for that isn't because Walter Hamada, doesn't know what he's doing. In fact, he's already proved he knows what he's doing by going forward with the multiverse strategy. The question you have to ask yourselves, fellow Snyderverse fans, is, do you want the Snyderverse to be part of this? Because you do understand, if the Snyderverse is going to go forward after Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it looks like that's the case, Chris Wong-Svensson has shared a post he shared for his YouTube video, Ping Pong Flicks Daily Show, where he said Zack Snyder's Justice League is just the beginning of the revival of the Snyderverse, and Zack Snyder liked that. So it looks like we're going to get what we want. What I want it all to be great and fantastic. I want this multiverse strategy to work. You should want Walter Hamada's plan to work. I know that Ray Fisher is saying some serious things, and it is serious. And all I can hope going forward now, that Walter Hamada and Ray can have some talks, private talks, where Walter apologises and maybe Ray says, maybe we both got off on the wrong foot. This is the only way forward here. Because I know what Ray wants. Ray wants another investigation into Walter Hamada's conduct. The problem is he can't prove Walter Hamada's conduct because their conversations are between them. Now, if Ray's got some kind of recording proving that Walter was trying to hamper the investigation, then that's something else. And then definitely you can have an investigation going forward. But I don't really want to talk about Ray or be negative about Ray, because I like Ray at the end of the day, and I think he's a really good young actor. And I think it's about time he focused on his acting career again. What he did, getting the investigation, bringing justice to all those people who were bullied on the set of Justice League, is a beautiful thing. And I bow to you, my friend. But now it's time to roll our sleeves up and fight for Zack Snyder's Justice League, and fight for Zack Snyder's Justice League's inclusion into the multiverse strategy. And the only way we can do that is by getting with the party. Now, we are promoting, as fans, Zack Snyder's Justice League as much as we can. There's even, an account, as I mentioned the other day, giving away gifts, giveaways and things like that. And Fiona's in the middle of that as well. And I'm really happy. Fiona's been great. Without Fiona, we probably never would have got Zack Snyder's Justice League. And as you know, I'm really grateful for all my fellow friends and fandom of the Snyderverse. I think you're great. Some of you like me, watch my videos. Some of you have blocked me and don't like me. That's fair enough. We can't all like each other, and that's fair enough. But point out a rumour, a lie, saying that Walter Hamada is so clueless that he's gone to Greg Berlanti for help is a blatant lie. A blatant lie. And I'll repeat myself. We all saw DC Fandom. We saw them all working together. In fact, it was Walter Hamada in that New York Times interview that said, you know, before I joined the DC live action franchise, no one was talking to each other. Now all corners are talking to each other. This can only be a positive thing. So I'm happy now. I've dispersed that rumour. It is a lie. It's negative. It's toxic. And you shouldn't be putting that forward. But if you want to lie and it helps you sleep better at night, good luck to you. Now, let's talk about us Snyderverse fans. Because like all fandoms these days, mainly because of social media, we are mocked and laughed at because other people don't like our fandom, don't like the film franchise that we stan. So I would imagine us as Snyderverse fans being like a yo-yo, being lifted up and down every day. There's new highs and lows. One day, you know, the Snyderverse is a cul-de-sac leading to nowhere. The other day, Zack Snyder's kind of liking Chris Wong-Svensson's tweet about Zack Snyder's Justice League being just the beginning of the rebirth of the Snyderverse. You know, we don't know where we are. I've always been, from the moment Zack Snyder's Justice League was announced, and if you look back on my videos and remember what I said from, you know, the origin of the announcement that Zack Snyder's Justice League was going to stream on HBO Max, I said this is just the beginning. Now, something else happened earlier this week, or at least a couple of days ago. AT&T have been talking to the Snyderverse fandom on the timeline, supporting Zack Snyder's Justice League, saying all sorts of incredibly positive things. Of course, AT&T want this to work as well because they want, you know, more butts on seats. And they know the way of doing that is the Snyderverse fandom. Now, I saw someone quote tweeting another Snyderverse fan when I woke up this morning saying it's going to take more than a cult to make Zack Snyder's Justice League successful. Firstly, it's a pretty big cult. Now, so apparently I'm part of a cult. Listen, the only time I would ever be a member of the cult is if I can sleep with all the women in the cult. Otherwise, why join a cult? So you can call us a cult. I would call us a family. I would call us a bunch of people who love two films that have been made and want to see that verse continue. Nothing wrong with that. Like there's nothing wrong with fighting for Alita 2 or any other verse or fighting for Arrowverse. I think we've all got to do better with our attitudes to other fandoms. You know, us in the Snyderverse, we want to be respected, right? How can we be respected if we're shouting Arrowverse is shit or, you know, disrespecting other fandoms? We don't like it. It's hurtful. I've been seeing lots of blue ticks kicking and screaming, you know, still going on about the Martha moment and, you know, talking about Kong versus Godzilla and saying they're going to have the same mother. You know, they're going to have, their mothers are going to have the same name and that's how they're going to solve their fight. Still going on. Still misunderstanding what was meant in that film. But it doesn't matter. Not everybody can like what you like or what I like. And that's perfectly acceptable. And if blue ticks want to throw hate on us, you know, there's a really good YouTuber called Comic Books Explained. He's really good. I follow him. I always thought he was a well-measured, intelligent guy, but then he was insulting Zack Snyder on Twitter. I was reading, you know, when I was reading my, you know, timeline this morning as I wake up, and every morning I look at my timeline, and I had to quote to it and say, you know, it's a shame, mate, because you are a really good YouTuber, and you know what you're doing here is just not making yourself look very good. I won't unsubscribe from him. I just think it's a shame that he's lowered himself to that level. Like it's a shame all these people do. Sometimes I think these people do it for interaction and attention. Maybe their interactions are not as high as they've been other times. And, you know, we fall for it. Of course we do, you know, because they're slaughtering something that we love. The thing is, you can go on about the Martha moment as much as you want. But let's compare the Martha moment to Professor Hulk. Let's compare what, you know, Feige did with Hulk in Infinity War. He made Hulk in Infinity War scared of Thanos. There is no version of the world we live in where Hulk should be afraid of Thanos. And then in the next film, Endgame, become Professor Hulk, the most cringy version of the Hulk of all time. Don't ask me. Ask diehard Hulk fans who I follow on Twitter. They're as disgusted with it as many people, as are diehard Spider-Mans, interpretation in the MCU too. We all love what Feige did with Spider-Man in Captain America Civil War. That was perfection, but they watered him down, and that's a crime. That's a sin, my friends. But we're not here to talk about Feige in the MCU, but it's really funny to read what these people say. And I think you should say something once or twice, but when you keep on repeating yourself about something negatively, it's boring. They keep on saying this is a dumb idea to make Zack Snyder's Justice League a 4-hour film. They now want to start a petition up to petition Warner Media and HBO Max to go back in doing it into 4 separate 1-hour episodes. Never going to happen. It's pretty clear that the studio wanted to do that. They wanted to have it in episodes because it brings in more interaction. Of course it does. It brings in 4 separate times that people are going to be on HBO Max, right? Of course, and it keeps people subscribing for longer. But Zack didn't want to do that from the beginning. Now, he was coming to the party. He was, he told them, he gave them examples when Walter Hamada and Jim Lee and everybody else came around to see Zack, because Zack just wanted to release the film anyway. So he would have just bent the knee a little bit just for it to happen. But Zack's got his way, like he does with most things, because it's the right way to release it as a film. It doesn't matter how long the film is. We've all seen really long films, and now we can just pause the film if we ain't got time to watch it. So it's a pretty pathetic argument. But what you're going to find on the internet, there's going to be many, many hot takes opposing your ideologies and your opinions, our ideologies and our opinions. And the best thing in life is you can't stop those opinions. And those opinions are desperate, gagging for interaction and attention. Just ignore them. It doesn't matter. We are going to get Zack Snyder's Justice League as a 4-hour film, over a 4-hour film, right? It's going to happen. We're going to see it maybe end of February, beginning of March, whenever. This is just the beginning. And all we have to do is show the studio on Twitter and other social media platforms that we're interacting about this, that we're hashtagging this, and most importantly, that we keep on watching the film so they can see people are interested. And I absolutely believe that these haters are going to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. They're monetizing their hate. So it really doesn't matter. So before I sign off for today's DCEU Daily, what have we learnt today? What have I discussed? What we have learnt today is it's great to be proud of the Snyderverse and what Zack's achieved and the fight we put to right a wrong. But it's also important that we don't disrespect other people's fandoms. Comment down below, like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. See you again soon.